Welcome to Sex Positive Gaming. I'm Annie, and today we're going to look at 20 new releases on Steam in March. This also includes a few last-minute releases from February that weren't on last month's list. As always, all links can be found on my Patreon, because YouTube really hates some of these titles, and really hates people enjoying themselves in ways they can't currently monetize. First up is the latest release of one of the most popular titles of 2021, College Kings Act 4. The developer, Undergrad Steve, says that this is going to be 30% bigger than Act 3 and that there is a noticeable improvement in the sexual interactions with better animations and voice acting. For those on the fence, Act 1 is still available for free on Steam. College Kings Act 4 is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, and for PC and Mac on their Patreon. Next up is Got Reincarnated into a World of RPG full of NPCs. It's nice to see that Japanese light novel naming schemes are now appearing in video games. This is a low-stress RPG Maker title that looks like it plays like a light novel. I've gotta be honest, this is one of the games on this list that I picked mostly because of the title. Got Reincarnated into a World of RPG full of NPCs is available for PC on Steam. Next up is the latest title from developer Darker Studio. In Bounce Paradise, you play as a male protagonist who takes over a beach resort. Usually we see Yuri and lesbian-themed visual novels from this developer, but it looks like the animation style and upbeat gameplay remain the same. Bounce Paradise is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam. Moving from visual novels to a more interactive RPG experience, we have Kisei Kimura. This was a successful Kickstarter from May of 2021, and they almost hit their planned release date of January 2022. I always want to take a moment to praise developers who actually deliver what they promise. Currently, there are 2 romanceable characters, but there are 5 DLCs planned, including an optional male homosexual route as well as 2 fox girls. Check out my full review later this week. Kisei Kimura is available for PC on Steam. Sticking with fantasy RPGs, we have one of Kagura's game's newest titles, Chevalier Historique. This is one of those gradual corruption female protagonist action RPGs with multiple endings and a new Game Plus mode. Chevalier Historique is available for PC on Steam. Next up is the Futanari visual novel, Demons Rise Up. If you enjoy a harem full of humans and monsters who all have the same parts, then you'll probably enjoy this kinetic novel. There are actually a surprising number of flavors and animations in this game. Demons Rise Up is available for PC on Steam and for PC, Mac, and Android on itch.io. And our most awesome title this month is Pirate Booty and the Bukake Buccaneer. We are not going to talk about how many times I had to record saying that. This is the latest visual novel from developer Cherry Kiss Games. They seem to have mastered the art of telling you everything you need to know about a game from its title. I'd mention the names of other games, but I'm pretty sure YouTube hates the titles from this developer almost as much as they hate Alex Jones. Pirate Booty and the Bukake Buccaneer is available for PC, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam. Now that I am fully demonetized, let's lean into it with our next title, Femdom Waifu VR. While this game is optimized for the Oculus Quest 2, do I really have to call it the Meta Quest now? While this game is optimized for the device formerly known as the Oculus Quest 2, you are still able to be humiliated and dominated by your waifu goddess in a non-VR format. This is a primarily JOI, jerk-off instruction flavored game, so I do think the greater immersiveness of a VR would definitely be the optimal experience. Femdom Waifu VR is available for PC on Steam. Next up is the open-world RPG furry breeding adventure, Dagon. Gather resources and build your army through heterosexual and homosexual interactions. There is a safe for work mode if you like. Otherwise, this is one of those games that hates clothing. Dagon is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, and for PC on itch.io and their Patreon. Next up is the newest dating sim from Play Meow Games and Lude Formosa, My Newborn Life in a Harem. The main character is fat, ugly, and has just been cheated on. Oh, yeah, and a truck just ran you over. Fortunately, you've been offered a deal by a succubus demon monster girl to come back and be hot, but you will have to eventually pay her price. So this is basically Spawn with more attractive characters, 3 possible endings, and thankfully no Billy Kincaid. My Newborn Life in a Harem is available for PC on Steam. On a slightly more wholesome note, we have the female protagonist harem romance, Natalia. Sadly, this visual novel is only releasing in Japanese, but it looks so pretty. Maybe we'll get an English translation if we ask nicely enough. Natalia is available for PC on Steam. Sticking with female protagonists, next up is the sci-fi side-scroller, Red Colony 3 Uncensored. The first two games have mixed reviews, but it does have zombies, destructible clothing, and different outfits. Oh yeah, and it has dinosaurs, and you all know how I feel about that. Red Colony 3 Uncensored is available for PC on Steam. Next up is the comedic visual novel, The Lustful Champion. There are multiple endings, the option of heterosexual and homosexual interactions, mini-games, and the ability to censor all the content and text if you desire. I'm gonna keep my eye on this one, because it looks like it could either be interesting or a total mess. The Lustful Champion is available for PC on Steam. Moving into my legally required section of Daz harem visual novels, first up is Alternative Punishment. You've committed a petty crime and have been sentenced to a week of boot camp, but all of the other people there are female. Oh no! Whatever will you do? Alternative Punishment is available for PC on Steam. Next up on the Daz harem train is Lucy Adult Game HD. This is a comedic visual novel currently in development on Patreon, and it actually offers a bunch of flavors and a more realistic system of likes and dislikes for the romanceable characters. While the game does have a more typical romance corruption mechanic, there are currently 4 planned endings. Lucy Adult Game HD is available for PC, SteamOS, and Linux on Steam, and a free demo for PC, Mac, and Linux on their Patreon. Another game with a free demo is Tame It. This hand-drawn harem survival game has mini-games, resource management, and stats and skills to discover and grow. This one looks really interesting, and I'm excited to try it out. Tame It is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux. Continuing the selection of games with free demos, we have the yaoi visual novel, The Divine Speaker. This fantasy adventure gives you 3 main romanceable characters that lead to drastically different moral and ethical outcomes and endings. There is also a streamer mode included that uses mosaics during the sexual interactions. The Divine Speaker is available for PC, Mac, SteamOS, and Linux. Next up is the fantasy RPG Celibus Fantasy. This is the English translation of the RPG Maker title released on DL's site in 2021 and has a female protagonist, minigames, fishing, and a crafting system. Celibus Fantasy is available for PC on Steam. Next up is the female protagonist puzzle platformer Noah and Black Magician. In this game, you can take your enemy's power like in Mega Man, but by having sex with them. This is how I'm going to imagine every Mega Man game works from now on. This also puts a whole new spin on the relationship with Dr. Willy. Reviews have been mixed on this one since it came out last month, but hopefully the issues and concerns will be resolved soon because it really looks like fun. Noah and Black Magician is available for PC on Steam. And finally, we have what is probably the most insane game of this month's list, Ultra C. This is a yaoi visual novel that takes place in Japan during the 1970s. There is an outbreak that occurs, and as opposed to turning people into zombies or something normal for video game outbreaks, infected people turn into kaiju, big Japanese monsters. Think of Godzilla or any of the big monsters that fight in Voltron or the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Oh yeah, and you fight them with pro wrestling moves. Or you can just romance them, because why not? Seriously though, this game is insane, and if you don't mind the homosexual only content, you're likely to have an amazing time with the utter madness and multiple endings. Ultra C is available for PC on Steam. There you have it. We're seeing more and more games coming out each month as our industry continues to grow. Almost every one of the major developers and publishers had a release this month, and it's really awesome to see this many new and exciting games. Let me know what you're looking forward to playing and what you want to see me review from this list. I've already made some choices of what I want to play and make videos for, but I'm always open to suggestions. Until next time, no shaming, just gaming. Thanks to all this month's supporters on Patreon. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you.